All right, what is going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday. Hello, hello, hello. Got a lot of people hopping in already. Love to see it. Absolutely adore that. Number one person of the day, first person to chime in today was Johnny coming in, who bought a monsoon and shot 235 game one out of box. Nice job, Johnny. That's awesome. Congrats on being the first person in chat, too. Hope the tailgating was fun. See who we all got hopping in. Joe, insert name. Mike, another Mike. Jeff, Larry, Goodfella, Maniac, B. Dean, Steven, JJ, Eric, BDGF. What is going on, everybody? Hope you're having a good day. Hope things have been good for you. Hello, Peter. What is up from Fresno? Hope you're doing well. So today, what are we talking about today? What do we got going on in the bowling world? Again, it's kind of a quiet day in the bowling world, or this week has been. We had an Alpha Crux announcement last Friday. We had all of the previews and all of the reviews coming out this past week. Most of them were very, very positive, which was cool to see. I saw a couple extra reviews of the Turbo X NU, and it really confirmed some things for me, so we'll talk about that one in a minute, about what that ball is actually going to be best for and what it shouldn't really be used for. We're going to be talking about a little bit of everything today. If you guys enjoy these streams, make sure to drop a like, subscription, a follow, whatever you want to drop. We are live on 4 different platforms. We're live on TikTok, Facebook, we're live on Twitch, and also YouTube. So if you want to watch this in a different format, you can go check those out. Otherwise, make sure to follow on whatever platform you're on. Best way to help support the channel. This is our final stream before I get married this upcoming weekend. So we got a couple days until that. So I'm going to be a little bit MIA for a couple of days for you guys. So be ready for that. If you're sending me DMs or anything, it's going to be a quiet couple of days. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Let me drop my monitor quick. My monitor keeps giving me weird, like, this monitor will shut off and reset in 5 minutes. Very odd. But here we are going to talk everything and anything bowling. So let's see who we've got. First of all, I think I missed a couple over on YouTube before I showed my face up here. I saw Mike asking about the Anger Pearl. That's an oldie but a goodie. Anger Pearl was a high RG, high differential ball. So it was a weird one where it got super far down lane, but when it wanted to hook, it was pretty angular. So that was a pretty angular, medium and sharp bowling ball. I don't think it'll be good on the fresh, in my opinion. It'll be better more in that transition in the burn phase. So you asked if it'll be good in medium oil, but it'll be a little bit better later on. Jerry Mars, what's going on? French Fry, what is going on? Hello over on the TikTok side. Otherwise, Mike checked his PAP. I thought that was weird, but it's true. 5.5 over, no up or down. No, I mean, really, you shouldn't really think of any PAPs as weird or normal or anything like that. Like, it's a fingerprint. Some people have some really wonky ones and they still roll the ball great. There's a lot of guys on tour have some wild positive access points. So it's A-okay. If yours is a little bit funky, that's pretty normal. And 5.5 over, 0 up or down is actually not weird at all. That's actually almost like a stereotypical one that the ball companies use when they're showing like a layout on a bowling ball when they're giving out their layout guides. I think Brunswick used like 5x0 for it, and Storm was pretty similar as well. So I don't think there's anything too weird about that. Don't worry about that. Eric, what is going on? BDGF, Venom Hysteria is killing it out of the gates today. 242, then 255, 251. That's a nice little 2-game set. That's awesome. Love that. Jaybird, what is up? Cameron, building a balanced beginner 3-ball bag. You're thinking of going Raptor, Rain, Venom Shock, Venom Hysteria. Yeah, that can absolutely work. Yeah, that's a pretty good 1-2-3 combo. I like it. Hey, JR Pro Shop is hopping in. What's going on, Barks? Hope you're doing well. Hope Nationals was good for you. Hope that was all a good time. Toot Newt, how do you feel about the One Ovation? I still love your name, man. Love the name. One Ovation is one of the more slept-on bowling balls because it has an Ebonite logo on is the main reason. But the ball was good, super strong core, stronger hybrid cover. A lot of guys like it on the fresh, especially on house shots. It's a little smoother than what you'd expect, but it does have that HK22, so it makes it quicker than something like the old One Encores or One Remixes. It's a good ball is the TLDR of it all. Epic Dragon, thank you for the tater, gamer tater, appreciate it. But yeah, it's a good ball. Very cheap most of the time. I think it's down to like 150 right now, probably 145, something like that. So it's the biggest core you can get for the lowest amount of money, which is cool. Peter drilling my alpha tomorrow, 5x4x3. That is awesome. Yeah, a lot of people have gotten their hands on the alpha cruxes, which is cool to see. I don't know if I'm getting one. I'm, of course, going through wedding expenses, so pretty doubtful that I actually drill an alpha crux, unfortunately. But yeah, the alpha crux is available in just next Friday already, May 29th, so it's coming out pretty quick. So if you are excited for it, it'll be a good time to, always recommend waiting to pre-order. Reviews have been high. PBA guys have liked it so far. The good thing with the Storm bowling balls, we get a lot of information about those balls before they come out compared to the other two brands. Brunswick is always my biggest one where I like both Brunswick and Motive. I usually ask like people to wait quite a bit. We have less reviews. We have less unbiased reviews for them. We have less people out in the wild throwing them right when they release. So it's good to wait that little bit. The hammer stuff like the Spawn, we already have a pretty good idea about, but like the Turbo X came out last week and we still don't know a whole lot about it because a lot of guys who don't do reviews haven't really drilled them or thrown them yet. So it's always good to wait on those because I'm always anti pre-ordering a bowling ball. Alpha seems like a fairly safe one in a lot of ways, but it is going to be that very strong sport shoddy type ball. Stu Williams had an incredible review of it today, which I think was really useful, where he talked about how it's just not going to be the best house shot ball. And I think that's something that a lot of people need to understand about a lot of bowling balls. And it's a really helpful comment because there's a lot of bowling balls that just aren't good on your typical house shot for you. Like I mean, the Alpha Crux is a super strong, smooth bowling ball. That's generally not your favorite ball on a house shot. Usually like an ASIM Pearl or something in the medium range is going to be a lot better for you than a strong cover, strong core bowling ball. So I think that was a really good point that he made. Stream has spawned. Speaking of the spawn, how do you go about joining a league when you don't have a team? The best thing to do is talk to your bowling center or your pro shop because they'll probably put you on a sub list. And then that usually when people are on a sub list, they get put on a team pretty quickly. Bowling seasons are super long. So there's going to be guys who need subs and they're probably going to need subs for a long time. Injuries happen. Life events happen. Like I know for my team this year, we had 2 people get night jobs during the middle of the season. So they couldn't bowl anymore. So there's stuff like that. One of them broke his leg. Like there are so many situations where you need bowlers. So if you get on a sub list, it's going to help an absolute ton to be able to get on a league. You don't have to go in with, 4 friends already ready to go. Usually you can just get onto a team through that and then you're on the team for a while. Epic Dragon, what's going on? What ball do you suggest to add to my 3-bag ball bag? I've got the Gem and the Viking. Something weaker, something symmetrical is going to be good. Like a Bionic could be good. An Ion Pro Solid. It's an asymmetrical ball, but it's weaker, a lot weaker. If you want to go really weak, a Rocket AI, because you have 2 Storm balls already, so trying to stay in that realm. Dolomite, what is going on YouTube? How you doing? Lamont, congrats on the upcoming wedding. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Yankee Spam, thank you for the follow. Justin, what does it mean when your ball comes back with no oil on it? Was bowling on a house shot and it wasn't all the way to 1 or anything. Was just surprised I had nothing to wipe off. It depends on the bowling ball. Sometimes a bowling ball just absorbs oil pretty quickly, so you have a lot less on the ball when you throw it. Sometimes there's less oil on the lanes and you're bowling, say, on the burn, and there's going to be less oil on your ball. There can be a lot of different situations that happen in that regard. Mike, my friend in PSO drilled a Bionic and had to hit it with a 4K pad as it was duller out of box. Yeah, that seems like almost every single Bionic is coming out of box at like 2000 grit. So they're way stronger than what you'd expect. And then once they get lane shine on them, they really calm down. I don't know why that is. I have no idea what's going on, but it's been very common. All of them that I saw at our pro shop were all dull. A lot of people have told me that exact same thing, that they all have seen dull equipment, dull Bionics coming through. So that's very surprising that like the most popular ball is coming in with the wrong surface, which is, and like it's probably just like unlucky where it's a lot of them that just get hit with the Abralon pads early in the process, but still surprising. Still very surprising. I'm still finishing Raptor Rainbow Shirt or a Rainbow Sherbet today is a drink of the day. Otherwise, I've got a body armor ready to go on standby. Paul Anderson, just getting into your videos and figuring my style in these categories. Got a couple of older balls. Where would you put the Hitman and the Hammer High Rev offset? If you're talking about the purple or the magenta 3D offset, that one's more of a medium smooth ball. I have no idea what the DV8 Hitman is. Let's see. The DV8 Hitman is looks like an ASIM Pearl. ASIM, yeah, it's 252050. It's probably a medium-ish Pearl ball. I'm not finding, yeah, Pearl. Okay, it's more like probably strong sharp to medium sharp is going to be my guess. I'll probably fit pretty well. Raptor EF, what balls do you suggest? You have the Ion Max, Hammer Effect, a Level, and a Venom Shock. I think something a little weaker and shiny will be good. Rocket AI, Crown Victory, Venom Hysteria, something like that is going to fit well in your bag. Gagan, I have an Equinox Solid and a Rockstar Amped. What's the next ball I should get? Open to any brand, and I'm two-handed. So you have a lot of options. I mean, when you only have 2 bowling balls, the best thing to recommend, like if you're here asking and you're under 4 bowling balls, check out some of the Arsenal videos that I just popped out. Those should be able to help you quite a bit, because Equinox Solid, Rockstar Amped are both on there, and like anything just, I mean, it really depends on what you're looking for. If you need something weaker than a Rockstar Amped, that's where like Monsoon or Typhoon fit in. If you want something a little bit stronger than or smoother, but still weaker than your Equinox Solid, Game Breaker 5, Venom Shock, things like that. So there's going to be a lot of options. Lot of options. Not your average bowler. Who's taking whose last name? Don't worry. ZVL will still be ZVL. Don't worry about that. Do not worry about that. There were jokes being made of like, yeah, if I could switch mine and then we could change the whole channel's identity, but no. That is not happening. Don't worry about that. Brett Dubb, I have a Hammer Full Effect, Storm Bionic, and a Venom Shock. Where am I overlapping? You have no overlap right now, but some shinier stuff is going to go well for you. JR, got to hang out with Josh Tajiri in Reno. We just needed you to complete the trifecta. What is he out in Reno for at that time? What is he doing out there? Didn't he already bowl Nationals? Or did he bowl? I don't even know if he bowled Nationals. I have no idea. Not really sure. Not really sure what that man does in his free time. B. Dean, PSO recommended a Dark Side Curse on drier lanes. Yes, I love the Dark Side Curse. I think it's a really good ball. It's a really good, weaker, but smoother bowling ball. So I like where he's coming from, B. Dean. I think that's really good. Oh, Jaybird got his hands on a Theorem Solid. Theorem Solid is a fantastic bowling ball. It was one that I was really sad with seeing go from the track side. I thought it was really good, but it just got severely overlooked. It seems like the mantra of Brunswick, where Hammer and Brunswick keep increasing, but the other brands keep decreasing, is very unfortunate. Because I thought that Theorem Solid was one of the best balls they put out so far in the last like year or so. But unfortunately, others must not think so, because sales just were not great on that guy. Very sad. Goodfellas, with the Alpha Crux releasing, are the Ion Max's days number? Oh, no shot. No, not at all. I very much do not see that ball getting discontinued in probably about a year or so. I'd say it'll make it probably another half of a league season. I would say maybe from Storm we could see something this coming winter as a new strong ball, but the Ion series just does so well for them right now. It's just, I don't think it's going away. And the Alpha doesn't really fit in that same zone. It isn't strong enough to fit where the Ion Max does. So, because you have the Ion Max, Jackal Onyx, and Zero Mercy are all kind of in their own tier as just such strong bowling balls. And then lower than that are the Alpha Crux, the Spawn, the Raptor Rain, the Sub-Zero Forge, things like that. So I think there's a pretty big gap between, not a pretty big gap, I should say, there's a gap between those two where it wouldn't be smart to get rid of the Ion Max unless sales are low, but I don't think sales are low. I can see the Hyperdrive going away, the RST Hyperdrive Solid. I can't see the Ion Max going away. I just don't think so. How's it going? Enjoyed watching the tournament. Thanks for hopping in, Reese. It's been going well. It's going well. Donnie Saunders, is it smart to use a new strong ball, never used it during a tournament? I never like bringing a brand new bowling ball to a tournament without throwing it. I like having an idea of what it looks like going down the lane just for my eye to get used to it. So I don't like doing that personally, but some people don't have a problem with it. Some people don't care. They throw a ball that they've never thrown before. I personally would like to rather practice or at least bowl league with it before I go bowl something serious with it. Larry, what are my thoughts on the Hammerhead Solid? Hammerhead Solid was another good ball, slightly weaker solid bowling ball than like the GB5 or the Phase 2s or the Lethal Venoms, things like that. Again, just an ignored one. Just not much love for that guy. It was good. It was round. It was continuous. Just not as much love as some of the other balls in the bag. Brooke, what's going on? Excited to watch everyone at U22 this weekend. Also have my first recruiting meeting. Hey, that is awesome. Good luck with the recruiting meeting. That should be fun. Is it Miller? Should I get a purple 78D? I want my first urethane where I can throw everywhere. No, get a black hammer 78. The black hammer is way better. The purple hammer 78 just isn't as versatile as the black hammer 78. So if you want one that can be thrown everywhere, but I'd recommend looking around to see if there's actually any urethane restrictions in your area. And if there's no urethane restrictions, just get a purple hammer. Just get a regular one. Most places don't have any urethane restrictions right now. There's very, very few. Matt Delby, thank you for the $20 super chat, man. Congrats on the wedding. Have some gas station food and an energy drink on me. Oh, with pleasure. Will do, will do. I just had a Circle K or holiday stations around us. They have a partnership with Guy Fieri, so I had a mac and cheeseburger from there. Better than you'd expect. A lot better than you'd expect. But usually they had a deal where if you got a fountain pop, you could get a ghost can for $1. And they got rid of it. And they switched it to a Celsius instead. How about a 1 through 3 trio of the GB5s? Yeah, I guess you could have all three. You absolutely could. All right, and there's Fiance jumping into the screen right now. Zayware, I have the Zero Mercy Solid, Hammer Obsession Tour, Pearl V2. Should I get a Bionic or a Venom Hysteria? I have the Zero Mercy Solid, Obsession Tour, Pearl. Should I get the Bionic? I would lean Bionic. I think Obsession Tour, Pearl, and Venom Hysteria might be a little too close together. Timothy, who's buying the Alpha Crux even though they don't need it? That's awesome. That's awesome. A lot of people. Don't worry about that. Muge, is Radical Snapshot good? I just got one. Yeah, you're going to find that ball for a super discount right now. That ball's dirt cheap. I don't think it's the best ball in the world. It's fine. It's as mediocre as you get in a lot of ways. The ball just wasn't well loved by a lot of people. And it wasn't thrown much because it had a Radical logo on the side of it. And it's kind of a lose-lose. So yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine for the discount. I think for $100 it's worth it, but for $170 it's not at all. C-Mac, how much surface should I put on the Bionic for Nationals? Depends what you want it for. If you want it for transition, keep it polished. If you want it for the fresh, make it dull. And Mike, thank you for the 100 high fives. Really appreciate that. I have no idea I didn't know that what the gifts were on YouTube. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Panda Man, thank you for the rose. Drew DeMusio, what's a weak shiny ball that's not so looks like she's breaking into your safe? She probably is. Probably is. Yeah. I have all my, well, I don't have much money in there anymore, actually. It's very low on the cash supply. Drew had a weak shiny ball that's not so sharp from the back end. Darkside Curse. Darkside Curse will fit there really well. Charmaine, what's a good ball for burnt lanes? A lot of options, a lot of stuff in the weak and sharp category will be your best friend. Bigfoot Shorts. I had a buddy that went through surgery. Wasn't allowed to come back because we needed someone to replace him. Oh, interesting. Brandon, my vertical PAP was 1 and 7/6 up, but now my PAP is going almost 0 or -0.5. But I have so many balls drilled to the post-vert PAP. What do I do to get it back up? I don't think it's ever a good idea to try to change your positive access point. It's impossible to try to manipulate where that thing's going to be. It's a battle you're going to fail at, in all honesty. Like, you can't, there's very few people in the world who can be like, I have a 4.5-inch PAP in this shot, and I'm going to manipulate my game so I can get it to 5.5 inches. It's just not possible. So I would check which form is better. Which form do you like better? Which one is your ball rolling better for? Because that drop of your PAP from up to down might actually be a good thing. It might mean your ball rolls a little bit better. You're not spinning it as much. Maybe your tilt has lowered a little bit, or your rotation is better. So I wouldn't try to change it because it's so impossible to do. It's so difficult to change that stuff. So I would check, like, has your game improved in a good way, or has it actually gone downhill? And if it's gone downhill, then try to go back to what you were doing. Willie, what ball compares to the Phase 2 in the Motive lineup? Lethal Venom and Primal Ghost are as close as you get, but they're not that close. I would lean more towards the Primal Ghost. Ragnar, congrats on your wedding. Saturday, yes, wedding is coming up Saturday, so should be a fun time, getting everything kind of finalized right now. I just scheduled all of my social media stuff for the next, like, 5 days, which is a lot of posts, so you're going to see regular content, like nothing changed. We have a special video Saturday morning that'll be kind of fun, but yeah, everything's going to look the same on your side, but just spent a couple hours trying to make sure all that was good to go, which was fun. Redeemed myself from Reno BDGF with a 5th place finish at a sweeper last night. There you go. Nice. Congrats on the wedding. Best life I can give is happy wife, happy life. Thank you. Zay, I have the Zero Mercy Solid. Yeah, we hit you. Warren, can you pair a Motive Evoke with a Storm Typhoon? Can you pair an Evoke with a Typhoon? Yes, 100%. The full effect disappeared quickly. Yeah, it has. And I don't know how. Like, that ball's been out for like a month, but no one remembers it exists. And I think some of that is like we're in the summer, so you're not seeing bowling balls as much, but you are 100% right. That time, like, attention spans for new bowling balls, especially from Brunswick, are dropping more and more and more, which is kind of weird. Like, their split cycle usually was doing a pretty good job at that. But I think now that we had the spawn come out, pretty soon after the full effect, which is only middle of April, I think that caused a lot of issues where everybody now forgot that the full effect exists, which is unfortunate because it is a good ball. I have it. I'm liking it so far. JR bowled he bowled the BJ a couple times, him and some of his teammates. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess he's probably close enough. He can just drive over there and be fine. That makes sense. James Jones, when to use the Turbo X? That's a weaker ball, so later on in the day is best. Jaybird, my tournament bag, I have the Heckler and the Black Widow Dynasty. You think some of the stronger ASIM side to balance of the bag? You think some of the stronger ASIM solids? Yeah, those are stronger ASIM solids, so I would try to get some other stuff to round it out a little bit better. Seeing Yankee, is the Bionic a good ball for speed dominant? Yeah, absolutely it is. 100%. The Bionic kind of fits all styles in some way, shape, or form, unless you're super rev dominant. That's kind of the main style that really can't use a Bionic that much. It's just going to hook way too much. Most other people will like it in some way, shape, and form. Let's see. Stoic, what do you think of the Venom Shock? It's the best, one of the best balls of all time. Best ball that Storm makes. Or Storm Motive makes. Whew. Storm, don't yell at me, please. D2 bowling. The video did on understanding oil patterns helped me out a lot on the PBA patterns. Good. I'm glad it helped. I'm glad. Yeah, I think I'm trying to get more of those education videos out there of like oil patterns and how to retransition. I'm trying to get more of that stuff put out there more. So expect more of that in the future. Ethan, do I cop the new Alpha Crux? It depends if you need something in the strong and smooth category. If you don't need anything in that category, it's not worth it. Steven, you're 12 to 15 miles an hour, 200, 300 revs. No, you're definitely rev dominant, man. Yeah, you're definitely, if that speed is off of your hand, then you're rev dominant. That's a pretty low ball speed if that is. If that's at the arrows or if that's at down lane and it's on the monitor, it's a different story. John, what else besides Storm should I have in my lineup? All the companies right now are making incredible equipment. I think the companies are doing a really good job at that right now. So I wouldn't think like there is no bad company. The ones that will be lower on the totem pole are going to be Swag and Pyramid. So, and then like Epic, I think also has some bowling balls, and Predator is one I heard of. So if you stick with the Motive brand, all the Brunswick brands, or 6 of those, and all the Storm brands, I think you'll be A-okay. And remember, Brunswick does have 6 brands, so Hammer and Deviate and all them are with Brunswick. That's always a fact I want to try to keep pushing, because a lot of people new to bowling don't really know that coming in, because Brunswick and Storm both don't really want people to know that as much as you'd expect. They do, but yet they don't promote it that much, which is a little bit odd. I get it. They probably don't. I mean, if somebody likes Hammer but hates Deviate, because there's a lot of Deviate haters is what I'm finding right now, then they're worried probably like, oh, I'm not throwing that brand now. But I feel like it would help sales, but I don't know. What do I know? John Morales, I have an IQ Pearl and a Crown Victory and a Tropical Storm and a T-Zone. Wow, you have a lot of weak pearls. I think like a Monsoon or a Dark Side Curse or something, or even the Cove, may it rest in peace, stuff like that is going to be a little better, because it's going to have a smoother downlane reaction. You have a lot of balls that are very close to each other. Trey Mills over on Twitch. What's going on, man? I have the Sub-Zero and Hysteria. Looking to add one more. I'm guessing Evoke Hysteria, either the Transformer or Equinox Solid. Honestly, the Transformer is probably best because it fits the gap a little bit more. Equinox Solid might be a little too close to the Sub-Zero. Hey, Ragnar, congrats on the upcoming wedding. Thank you so much, man. Absolutely. Dennis, do you know if the EJ Venom Shock is stronger than the Ion Pro? Yes, 100%. Yeah, the EJ Venom is definitely stronger. Jackson, my concept isn't hooking enough. Well, remember, that ball's not supposed to look like it hooks that much. If you're trying to play left to right with it, it's not going to hook much. That's not what it's made for. That ball is made to play straighter angles and play on tougher patterns. It's supposed to act like a urethane ball. So if you're trying to play like super deep on the lane with it, it's not going to be good. You're using the wrong ball for that spot. Evanson, thanks for running the ZVL. Had a lot of fun. Thank you so much for coming, man. Appreciate it. Brady, Cedarvale Lanes League. Vaporize into what? Look, looks like she's right. Something a little weaker. That could be like a Crown Victory. I think a Crown Victory could fit well there. Denise, what motive ball do you compare to the Bionic? Nothing. 0 balls act like the Bionic from the motive lineup because motive has a really, really big gap between their lethal venom primal ghost and their nebula. They have nothing in between at all from top down. Like there's nothing that's close to a Bionic. So if you want a Bionic, but is a concept good for dry lanes? No, that is not when you should be using that ball. That is not at all when that ball is going to be good. But no, motive and Brunswick both don't really have much there. Nick, does baking a ball damage the ball if done too often? Yes, it does. Yeah, trying to bake a ball should be your last ditch effort to trying to save that bowling ball. Generally, if you're at that point, it's just best to buy a new ball because you're going to be doing a lot of maintenance and paying a lot of money to try to get the ball to actually hook a little bit. Once you start baking it, you get 5 to 10 games max out of it before you have to bake it again. Then you're just constantly going through that cycle. So if you're at that point, I'd recommend starting to look for other stuff soon. Insert name. I find myself buying a lot of balls that I don't need. Hey, that's A-okay. That is perfectly A-okay. Let's see. C1, over on TikTok, I have a raw hammer and axe and a white dot. I'm rev dominant looking for a new strike ball. Yeah, that's a lot of balls that I don't think you need an axe and a white dot in the same bag. If you want something new that's stronger, you could go up to the Vibe series with like a bubblegum or an Arctic Vibe, but they're going to hook a lot more. If those balls are hooking for you, if your raw and your axe are hooking a lot for you, I don't think you should get a new ball. I think the first thing to do is work on amping up your ball speed a little bit so you're not highly rev dominant. Big thing to remember for everybody here. I gotta find a good way to make a video on that is, if you are someone who overhooks a raw or a tropical surge or even a rhino and like you're using plastic on your first ball because it hooks so much, we got to amp up that ball speed is going to be more important because every other ball in the world is going to hook too much. So then the next best thing to do, we got to work on that speed getting a little higher. It's going to be a lot better. Jeff, what do you think of the motive Ascent for my wife who throws straight? Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be a good one. It'll hook a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Joe over on YouTube, I'm taking the Spawn, the Full Effect, the Stealth, the Toxin, the Danger Zone to Carson City for tournaments. I actually kind of like it. You have a good, I don't know about that Black Widow Toxin. I feel like that thing would be close to either the Stealth mode or the Spawn. I know very little about that bowling ball, so I shouldn't say much, but I feel like that thing is a little too close to the other, so I'd be aware of that. But Full Effect and Danger Zone, good to go on that front. Chicken croquets for dinner. Nice. Larry, I start my summer league. I'm taking a Zigzag, Identity, Crown Victory, and Cypher Pearl. A lot of shiny stuff. Definitely a lot of shiny stuff. But if you're on a house shot, that should be okay. Hey, Maribeth, what is going on? Welcome, welcome. How you doing? Lefty motive. Oh, I want to hit this one, though, from Amazing Robin. Is the Bionic the rich man's GB5 hybrid? No, there's no correlation or similarity between those balls. There's a one ball reviewer who really pushed that really hard that, like, if you want a Bionic, just buy a GB5 hybrid. And it's the most incorrect thing I've heard this month in bowling. No, do not do that. Do not think a GB5 hybrid is close. GB5 hybrid is much weaker, and it's going to be a lot smoother down lane than the Bionic. The Bionic and Game Breaker 5 hybrid could fit in the same bag, but no, do not. Yeah, they are not similar in a lot of ways. They're both symmetrical hybrids. That's what's similar about them. But otherwise, I do not think both can fit, or I don't think both fit the same exact spot in a bag. Lefty motive guy, my challenge pattern league starts, but we're bowling on Stonehenge. Yeah, Stonehenge is a little bit easier. It's not hard. Like, there's kind of different tiers of shots. Like there's, house shots. Then there's sport shots, which are going to be the PBA patterns, a 3-to-1 ratio and lower. And then you got that middle ground, which are more challenge patterns, as usually what people call them. Stonehenge kind of fits on the softer side of the challenge patterns, is where it is. Stephen B, we hit M. Lund, balanced bowler, and you're loving your Equinox and works okay on sport with a strong ball to use right after. I have a phase 2 Pearl, but need weaker balls for more breakdown and drier lanes. It was another ball to use right after. That's where the phase 2 Pearl would usually fit right after. Steve, there's only about a 20 ball gap between the Bionic and GB5 hybrid. We'll hit that one again in a minute. But if you need something else, that's where like a Bionic is going to fit. Or if you want something, that's a ball down, that's close. Yeah, really, Bionic is the only play. 2026 ball up from an HK22 conspiracy. That's going to be a Zero Mercy. It's going to be the Zero Mercy slot. That old conspiracy was strong. But yeah, going back to Steve Johnson, there's about a 20 ball gap between the Bionic and GB5 hybrid. Yeah, absolutely. There is a very large gap between those two. And so I feel like you're going to hear it a lot if you listen to my streams the next couple of weeks, because that word gets around really quickly, that people are going to try to put 2 and 2 together and think they're the same ball, but Brunswick's just putting out a cheaper ball now. Not at all. They don't really, yeah. It's kind of it's an apples and oranges situation. Ion Max Pearl versus Physics Blackout. Ion Max is going to be a lot quicker down lane. It's going to be a lot quicker than the Physics Blackout was. Let's see. Tippett, is there anything in the original or in the SPI lineup closest to the origin? The closest guy right now is the Ion Max Pearl, actually. There is a difference, but I think the Ion Max Pearl is the closest we're going to get for a while to the original origin. The origin was so unique. It's going to be tough to find something close. Stickman wins. Butter for sport shots. IQ solid. Better for sport shots. IQ solid, original, or Venom Shock. Definitely Venom Shock for the fresh. Superfly, what do you recommend for Reno? Yeah, Reno, generally the best balls are going to be the slower and smoother ones. So you're going to like the phase 2s, the stealth modes, the lethal venoms, the Raptor Rains. Those smoother bowling balls are going to be best because you want to keep your angles a little bit straighter, especially on the fresh. If you start a little bit too deep, you're just playing a 1-to-1 ratio pattern. You're not going to score very high. The best way to score is staying a little straighter than slowly moving deeper on the lane. So the smoother bowling balls are going to be your best friend. GJ, if your PAP changes, can the Pro Shop tell which one is new? Yeah, absolutely. They 100% should be able to, because once you get your PAP measurement, then you'll be able to tell what your new one is. So use that, and then you can kind of go backwards and figure out what all of your new layouts are. Mike, care to recommend 3 medium smooth balls for a balanced bowler? Medium smooth balanced bowler for mid house shot. Don't care which brand. 3 of the best ones right now. Phase 2 is always up there as a GOAT. Ion Pro Solid is really good. Bionic again is good. Brunswick brands, GB5. They don't really have a whole lot in the medium smooth list. GB5 or Alert. Alert is going to be really good. And then Venom Shock from Motive. So a lot of options there. Brooklyn Freddy. Bowling League and watching ZVLA. Thank you so much for hopping in, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Speed is down lane, not offhand. Lane Truck says it's 17. Okay, that's good at least. Yeah, then you're pretty much on the balance side, a little more closer to speed dominant. Willie, going back a bit, but what is better ball later on? The Zen, the Cosmos, or an IQ Tour Sapphire? Oh, and then the IQ Tour Sapphire. Yeah, the Zen is like almost a fresh / early transition ball. Cosmos is like early transition to late transition. And then the IQ Tour Sapphire, which is basically just a Pearl IQ Tour. That one's going to be a lot better for later on. That one isn't going to be the greatest on the fresh. Cody J, would the Bionic be a good pair with your Ion Max, or is it too close? Oh, there's a massive difference between those two. Yeah, massive difference. Bloody Rim, I never understood the point of putting out balls in the same category under different company names. So this was the craziest thing to me for a while that I didn't understand, but I get it now, is that the companies, like, let's go Storm, they have guys who only buy Rotogrip bowling balls. Like, that's it. They have customers who will only buy Rotogrip. So if you don't put out bowling balls in the Rotogrip lineup, well, then they're just not going to buy your bowling balls, and they might go to a different company. So they don't buy Storm balls. They don't buy Global balls. They just buy Rotogrip. And actually, Brunswick has the biggest problem with this because of hammerheads. People who love Hammer and only buy Hammer, if Hammer doesn't make, a ball for every category, those guys might go to Storm. Those guys might go to Motive. So that's their biggest worry, is that for those guys who are just fans of one specific brand, that they're going to jump ship and go elsewhere. So to keep them inside the brand, you just release more bowling balls that are very similar, and then you're good to go. So that's why you're always going to see like a medium and smooth bowling ball in everybody's bag, or in every brand's bag in some way. So that's why you had, that's why right now you have Phase 2 Vengeance and Rockstar. Now the companies try to make them slightly different than each other so that they're not just doing a recolor of the same ball, but they are going to be pretty close. Jaybird, my bad, my wording comes out crazy. Your screen is cracked. Ah, that's never fun, man. That is never fun. Tommy Pickles, thank you so much. Thanks for wishing me a good day. BDGF, thank you so much for the well wishes on the wedding. Marsman Adventures, heading to Reno. Thanks for your content. Hey, good luck, man. Good luck out there. Stickman is asking, best strongest ball for the fresh and a sport shot. The strongest ball right now, Zero Mercy Solid is going to be the best strong ball out there. I think that's going to be one of the better ones. Vengeance just started to break after 30 games. Define break. Mike, do you have an ETA on some ZVL merch t-shirts? Not really. I'm still working with one of the brands to figure out when that's going to be. I have to hit them back, I think. It's kind of gone under my I don't think I have an email from them. I'll have to check to be sure. Otherwise, I'll try to get an ETA soon. GJ, I have an IQ Ruby and a Rockstar Amped. What do you recommend for a balance bowler? The Rockstar Amp's going to be a little bit better for you, but then I would recommend some kind of smoother ball to pair with it. Something a little smoother to pair with it will be good. Lefty Motive Guy picked up the Supra Sport. It's working well on higher friction. There you go. Love that. Ragnar, what surface would you recommend to keep the Black Widow Dynasty on? Definitely 2000. 2000 was where that ball's best. I haven't seen any of them being good when shiny. Usually when you see a ball, like whatever it's out of box is what the company thinks is going to be best for it. But you might see like a ball, like a shiny ball being dull or a dull ball being shiny. But if you don't see it, like we haven't really seen the Dynasty with much polish on it ever from people. It's just probably one you shouldn't really put polish on. Is the Nebula and Hypervenom too close to have? Yes, 100%. You should not have both. Drewski got a Rockstar, really happy with it. There you go. Love that for you. Love that for you. Zeus, you have a Purple Hammer and a Rotogrip Idol. I would recommend some kind of shinier ball. Purple Hammer doesn't have much of a use on house shots for most people, especially if you're trying to score high. Then the Idol is pretty strong, so I think something weaker and shinier is going to be good. Rocket AI, IQ AI, Typhoon is going to be good, things like that. Is Rate My Arsenal coming back soon? No, Rate My Arsenal is not coming back. That series, there was just way too many Arsenals to get through. I'd be putting out 5 videos a week for 2 years if I was trying to keep up on those. So Rate My Arsenal is not coming back. I do have 2 different options for you. One of them I'm working on right now. It's a tool where you can put in your bowling balls and it'll tell you what categories they fit in. Otherwise, we have more personalized ones on my Patreon for a $15 tier where you'll get a 10-minute video back about your arsenal, what you bowl on, and what's really going to fit you specifically. So that one's going to be more designated for your game specifically, but the old 30 to 50-minute videos of Rate My Arsenal are not coming back. I would need a lot more Zacks to be able to knock those videos out. They're just way too much, and there were 1,400 arsenals, and going through them, a lot of guys were just dumping bowling balls once a week on there. They're dumping like 25, 30 arsenals on it, so we're not going to go. It's just not worth my time to go through that. And Barracuda, has anyone put out info on the BOS system versus regular lace? Oh, BOA. I'm looking, but not much on shoes in general, aside from the obvious marketing info. So yeah, the BOA system is overall more consistent than regular laces, and I haven't heard of many situations where they rip. And most of them do have a lifetime warranty. So as long as you're not like cutting them with scissors, they will replace the BOA system for you. So I think the BOA system is one of the best things that come to bowling shoes, because I would rip laces like crazy. My shoelaces would rip so often because I like my shoes really tight. And the BOA system kind of fixes that problem quite a bit. Insert name and I can start Bowling Ball Buyers Anonymous. Chubbs, should I replace my Combat if I pick up a hybrid ASIM for my Strong and Smooth? It depends. I mean, a hybrid ASIM could be super slow or it could be super quick. Like the Transformer is a solid. Combat Hybrid. There we go. Combat Hybrid acts like a solid ball. It's dull. It's super slow down lane. So if you're replacing it with that, those two fit in the bag really well together. If you're replacing it with like a Viking, then I don't think they both fit well together. But if you want Strong and Smooth, then I think both can fit in the same bag just fine. Let's keep on going. Ron over on TikTok, would it make sense to add another urethane ball to an old Purple Hammer? Not really. No, I don't think so. I just don't think there's enough uses for urethane out there where it's going to be good for sport shots, but there's better options on house shots, so you don't need to bring multiple urethanes that often. Baseball. I'm a two-hander. I have a Phase 2 and an NU 2.0 gray. Would the Apex Jackal be a good choice? I would avoid the Apex Jackal in general. It's had a lot of very mixed results, leaning towards negative results. So I'd recommend a different ball instead of the Apex Jackal. And the Apex Jackal is really, really expensive. Nico, is the Storm concept good for house? Not really. There's a lot better options if you want a house shot ball out there. JS, congrats. John Over, thank you so much. John Overstreet, which pattern is the longest at Reno's? Doubles and singles is a little bit longer. It's not by much, but it's, yeah, doubles and singles a little longer. Singles or doubles, which pattern would have the longest? They're the same pattern. So the team event is one pattern, and then singles and doubles, you actually bowl back to back on the same lanes, and that's the same oil pattern. So you start with doubles, you bowl your 3 games of doubles, and you stay on the same lanes, and you bowl 3 more games for singles. So it's the same pattern. Edgar on YouTube is an Evoke Hysteria, Monsoon, and a Raw Hammer a balanced arsenal. Yeah, if the Raw Hammer hooks enough for you, absolutely. Otherwise, you can go to step up from it, like to an Arctic Vibe or a Dark Side Curse or even an Alert if you need something a little stronger. Absolutely. Absolutely. Quick reminder, we are doing a full Q&A on every and any bowling ball question that you guys have. So if you guys are appreciating the support, or if you want to hear more about bowling, make sure to drop a subscription or a follow on whatever platform you're on. We're live on 4 different platforms, so I'm jumping chat to chat to make sure we hit everything. So we're live on TikTok, on Facebook, on Twitch, and on YouTube. So if you enjoy what we're doing, make sure to follow, make sure to like, all that fun jazz. If you want more personalized help, I do have a Patreon where we offer coaching, and we also offer arsenal reviews for some tiered setups, and also we offer just random bowling tips and tricks over there as well in some of the paid tiers as well. Like today, I dropped my storm categorization guide that's going to be coming out to everybody in just a couple of days. So if you want to get that stuff early or want some more inside tips, make sure to go check that out. Otherwise, we have a lot of cool links down below in the description, along with a bunch of partners and sponsors that are up here to my upper left on everything except for TikTok. But we are doing a full Q&A, so if you have any questions, keep dropping them down below. I'm about 10 minutes behind on chat right now, so got to bear with me and watch a little bit longer to make sure your question gets answered. Let us keep on trucking. Evan likes to play left to right. What's a good ball to play a little more straight and smooth? That's where you're going to like, well, it depends on the oil pattern. Sometimes you're just not able to do that depending on your rev rate and your ball speed and all that. But if you do want something for that, that's where like a Hustle X-Ray is going to fit, like an Arctic Vibe, like a Dark Side Curse, things like that are going to be a little bit better. But I'm torn on the Phase 2 versus IQ Tour for Open Championships. I would recommend the Phase 2. Phase 2 is going to be a lot more usable. Nerdy, thank you for the heart. And Alan, thank you for the 10 jewels. Really appreciate it, man. Thank you, thank you. JSA, substitute recommendations for replacing the Proton and the Infinite. If you want to replace the Proton physics, the Ion Max is very close. There really isn't much like the Infinite physics right now. Ion Max Pearl is about as close as you're going to get. I kind of wish I still had my Infinite physics. I got rid of it because it was cracking out, but that ball was fun. L-Dog, think the new Alpha is the best strong smooth ball from Storm. I don't think we can say that for a while. I mean, there's been positive reviews for it so far. However, every ball ever made has positive reviews for it. So I wouldn't take a whole lot on that train. I think we need to wait a little bit to see if it is truly, quote unquote, the best. Now, I still think the Equinox Solid is going to be the best option for a higher rev rate because you're going to be closer to the rev dominant side more than likely. But it depends on the bowler. Reagan, I had to make an arsenal around track due to pricing. It gave me the Paragon Shadow, Synthesis, Theorem Solid, Theorem Pearl, Venom Shock, IQ Tour, and Kinetic Sapphire. What do you think? I don't think you need the Paragon, the Synthesis, and the Theorem Solid. I think that's a little too much overlap. I think one of those is A-okay. Vengeance always slides if I don't roll at 10 miles an hour. The ball might be hooking too much for you, David. It might be hooking too early. Because remember, when a ball hooks, if a ball isn't hooking, it doesn't mean that it's weak. The ball could be hooking too early. So if you throw, you got to think, if the ball has 100% energy, it's at 100% when you release it from your hand, if there's not much oil in the front part of the lane, the ball is going to be losing energy, losing energy, losing energy. So when it wants to try to hook, it might not have enough energy to do so. Whereas a weaker bowling ball, it starts hooking later. So it's going to conserve that energy and be better in the less oil. So you might not be bowling in enough oil for that vengeance to be good. Alan, Paragon Shadow is a great ball. Oh, 100% it is. Yeah, Paragon Shadow was another one of those forgotten balls that was really good. Lefty motive guy, would a lethal venom be too strong for Stonehenge? It depends on the volume, and it depends on how you throw it. That's always the big one to remember in these situations. Let me look up what Stonehenge. It was 40 feet. Oh, there's no volume. Yeah, that ball's going to hook probably a little bit too much for you. There's just no volume on that pattern. A lot of those older patterns kind of suck nowadays, and I wish we would get rid of them as a bowling community, like Stonehenge, like the original Route 66. Like, they just don't have enough volume. They just hook so much. I know last time I bowled on, God, what was it? It was a lower or an older Kegel pattern, and I was down to the time I was in my track heat, which is a very weak bowling ball. It was the weakest ball I brought because it just hooked so much because there was no volume. So that's the big thing with those Kegel patterns. They all are around like lower 20s in mils, and with rev rates going up, with lanes getting more beat up, they just hook way too much, and you need more volume. Let's see. John over on YouTube looking for a good drop down ball from the phase 2. Yeah, Zen Gold Label could work really well if you have access to one. Absolutely. John Overstreet, what do you have? Zero Mercy, Special Effect, Black Widow, Zigzag. It's a very strong lineup. But yeah, it can be good. It can be good. Words are hard. Alec, what 78 hardness urethane would you recommend for someone who is mostly a balanced bowler but has some speed dominant tendencies? If you need to get one, I think if you want one that's going to hook no matter what, go with the Crown. If you want one that's more versatile, the Black Hammer. But if you're more on the speed dominant side, you might like the Crown a little better. RJ, switching brands from SPI to B7, what can replace the Equinox Solid? Nothing that's going to be as smooth as an Equinox Solid. Black Widow Dynasty is about the closest you're going to get, but that's not incredibly close. That's going to be the hard thing switching between brands is Storm has a lot of balls that are very unique in that have different reactions. Brunswick has a few less like unique reactions. A lot of their balls are just a little quicker, especially from Storms. So you don't really have much to fill there, unfortunately. It's really just got to be that Black Widow Dynasty. Spartan's going to be too strong. Evil Eye is going to be too sharp down lane. What else is around there? Synthesis is too strong. Combat Hybrid is way too strong. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Brady Benedict, are the Vaporize and Black Widow Mania different enough? I don't think so. I don't think they're different enough. Cryptic over on TikTok. Should I drill a concept for nationals? I liked it for nationals. I did pretty okay with it on both patterns. So I think it's a good choice. But if you need to spend $200 for a ball that's going to be used in one situation all year long, it's not worth the money. It's easier just to use your other stuff. Void, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Ron, is there a better option 78U than the purple? Does it make sense to add than an old? So the way you got to look at, I'm going to make a flow chart for this one day. I'm going to write that down. I really want to do a flow chart for this because I think it could help a lot of people out. Are you bowling anything that has a 78 urethane hardness restriction? That's number one, what you should think about when looking at a urethane. Do you bowl anything where there's a restriction? The only things that there are restriction on right now are USBC Open Championships, PBA, or like the US Open or USBC Masters. And if you're bowling those, I don't think there's really, you probably have other ways to get advice. But if you bowl a lot of stuff where it's worth it, then you can go down to the 78 hardness, but really option number one should be get a Black Hammer. The Black Hammer is the best one. That is the purple hammer of the 78 hardness realm. The other urethanes, the other 78 hardness ones, the Crown and the purple, they're going to have cores, like stronger cores in them, so they're not as useful as long. So if you're not speed dominant, they're not that great, and they also can't be used for very long. So if you don't bowl any 78 hardness restriction stuff, get a purple hammer. If you do bowl 78 hardness stuff, generally get a Black Hammer unless you really want the ball to hook. Then a Crown is going to be the best play. Then a purple or a Crown, they're very, very similar. So that one's more of a potato. I'm going to write that down. methane flowchart. Putting that on my to-do list. Just like getting some new chamois ready. Coming soon. New colorways. Was designing a few today. Mr. Phil, the hype on that Bionic is real. Phase 2 is perfect ball down from the Bionic and the Fresh. Bold to 700 series. There you go. Love it. Shipwreck, you might have gotten this. Oh, we hit you. I think Ebonite Spartan would be a little smoother. I think well, yeah, always dead. The Spartan is a bit stronger, is my one worry. Is the cover on the Spartan is so much stronger, where the Equinox had a really weak cover on it. Or not really weak, but it was a weaker cover. Mike, I bought some no-tie lock shoelaces for $5.99 on Amazon. Does wonders. There you go. Almighty Scrimblow, what's going on? No tap on Saturday. Would be more excited if I hadn't messed up my back. Ooh, yeah. Rest up a little bit. See what you can do. Let's see. The Swiller. Got my Radical Big Bite drilled. Awesome out of Vox. Very grippy for 3,000. Yeah, that ball was like a typical medium smooth ball in a lot of ways. Yeah, it hooks a decent amount. Dawn, how's the pre-wedding planning? Good. We're doing a good job right now. We're doing, we're pretty locked in. We're pretty much good to go on a lot of the things right now. We only have a couple of days left. So our goal was to have everything done by the end of today, finalize some things tomorrow, and then start packing because we're going to be staying, of course, overnight at our venue. But yeah, it's going really well right now. We're actually feeling pretty okay. Feeling pretty good. Ben Crop, the OG Alpha, was perfect for that 2024 Masters. Wish you weren't busy. Would have loved watching you toss it or get your opinion, even if our spans were different. No, yeah, that's awesome to hear. Yeah, the original Alpha Crux is still sick. There's a reason guys spend a lot of money on them. So that's awesome to hear. Always dead. Anyone in Australia? Perfect time to try B6 gear with their supplier changing from Quebec to South Pacific Bowling. Oh. Pretty sick. That's good to know, actually. Thank you. I'm going to have to try to advertise that one a little bit more. As long as your wife doesn't see you walking in with a new ball for the 3rd time this month. Well, that's a good thing with this being the job is everything's a tax write-off, right? I did not say that, IRS. You caught nothing. Learning two-handed, new two-handed bowler. I'm a rev dominant bowler and I need good suggestions for a league ball that has good length. Everything I throw is too strong. That's IQ 2 or effect and sneak attack. I would recommend a hammer raw or a storm tropical surge. Go to the very bottom of the bag. Go to the entry level stuff, and that's going to be a good way to get started and figure things out. Biggie, I have a dynasty and have a choice. Zero Mercy Solid or Spawn for the next ball since they're the same price. I'd go neither, personally. I just don't think either. I think they're all too close together. Biggie, especially if you have like less than 8 bowling balls. I don't think a Zero Mercy and a Black Widow Dynasty can really fit in the same bag that often. There aren't many situations where you really need both. So I would recommend rounding out the rest of your bag first. But if you do have to choose, the Zero Mercy is further away from the Black Widow than the Spawn. Yeah, JR has a good point. I think the V1 patterns are okay, but centers need to use different types of oil. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, because they had the original patterns come out from the early 2010s, and then they came out with the V1 patterns like maybe 5-ish years ago. Those have usually buffed up volume and slightly different laydowns so that the patterns actually play normal. But if you're trying to use like original Stonehenge, original Route 66, original Broadway, they just suck. They just hook way too much for today's bowling balls. And Louis, two-handed rev dominant, would the Alpha Crux be a better option instead of the Ion Max? Yes, 100% it'll be better, but it's still very strong. So if you're rev dominant and you're not bowling on sport shots, you don't need either of those. I don't think either are useful. Go check out my my rev dominant guide on YouTube, and that'll kind of help you out. What should your strongest ball in the bag be? Because those, I think, both are way too strong for that spot. Tori, beautiful day in Washington, mowing the yard. There you go. Love to hear it. That's awesome. Yeah, it's a little bit cold here, actually. It's a little cold in Minnesota today, which is kind of surprising. Dawn, if the Vengeance is using too much energy in the front, I would let it lane shine. Absolutely. Perfect way to say it. Insert name. About the shock and the effect 2, or should I get the phase 2? No, I don't think so. I think that'd be too many close together. Let's check out TikTok a little bit. From Void, what are my thoughts on the Jackal Ghost? One of the best balls Motive has ever made. It's an awesome piece. Beef Gristle. What would be a good third ball for a balance volley? I love the name. Black Widow Mania and Danger Zone Solid. I would go something in the middle of those two. Brunswick Alert, Game Breaker 5 Pearl, Crown Victory could kind of fit in between, a little closer to the danger zones, but I think something in the middle would be good. Conchillo, what do you think of the Vibo? Vibo, again, we're just going down the list of really good bowling balls. Fantastic ball, strong and sharp bowling ball, a little rounder than a lot of the pearls out there, but it is still a ball that a lot of Storm guys really, really like. Matt, best way to help a 4-step one-handed bowler with late timing. The best thing to do, in my opinion, is to get that push away started earlier. So if you have that later timing, I check when you push the ball away and try to make that a little sooner, but keep the footwork at the same speed. So if you can just get that ball pushed away at the start a little bit quicker, that can kind of compensate the timing a little bit. Hey, Guardian of the Realm, what's going on? Been throwing my 2 new bowling balls, RST Pearl and the Next Factor. Love that. Good for you. Don, Spawn, Equinox Solid, or the Bionic? Which would be a good replacement for my Black Widow 3.0, or should I just get a Black Widow Dynasty? The best option is probably going to be Black Widow Dynasty if you want something that's going to truly one-to-one replace it. The Equinox is going to be a little bit different, a little smooth, slower and touch weaker. And then also the Spawn is going to be a little bit stronger and a little bit quicker. So I think if you truly want that one-to-one replacement, just grab a Dynasty. Sealands, EBT tournaments have the 78D rule also. Yeah, you're getting more and more tournaments that are putting in the 78 hardness rule, but it's always a question that I have to ask because a lot of parts of the country just aren't yet, and maybe never will. So that's where it's important to know what tournaments around you, because I don't think there's a reason almost ever to get a 78 hardness ball over the soft ones unless it's a rules thing. Now, for some guys who are really, really rev dominant, they want a ball to not hook that much. That's where the 78 come into play. But then you really just want a black hammer. Like the other ones are going to hook too much anyway. I found some extra body armors in my closet, so I threw those in the fridge. Fantastic. Always Dead. You can always look down to stepping down to a Brunswick Rhino. Absolutely. Yeah, Rhinos are also another great option. GJ, is there a brand better for house shots? Not really. Not really. Mike, I saw the review on the Turbo XNU on X in the Pit. Very smooth, so maybe it needs to be for rev dominant bowlers. No, I don't think that's a ball that I want to hit on. From everything I've seen and heard about the Turbo XNU, if you don't bowl tournaments, do not touch that ball with a 10-foot pole. Is really what I'm seeing right now. Is the ball is not good for house shots. It's super, super strong. It has that core in it. So it's hooking super early all the time. Like I saw the X in the Pit one as well. Those guys are on wood lanes and that ball looked like trash. Absolutely looked awful. So if you want to buy the ball specifically, I'd recommend polishing it. But in that case, just buy a different bowling ball. I have not seen a reason to get the Turbo XNU over the Hammer NU 2.0, especially if you're not on that many sport shots. And if you're on sport shots, regular urethane is a better option most of the time. So it's kind of tough. I feel kind of bad because I was a little bit excited about the Turbo XNU, and then it just is a little too niche for a lot of guys. So I don't think it really has a use in a lot of situations. I think it's very, very niche. There's a reason most of the reviews for it were pretty bad. It's just, it doesn't work for house shots. Most of the guys in reviews throw it on house shots, and it is not a house shot bowling ball. That's like if a ball reviewer would try to review a urethane on a house shot, it's going to look terrible. It's very similar. Very, very similar. I want to say this one, Jazzy B. Do you feel like if you never really used urethane before, should you do a 78 hardness so you don't get spoiled by a purple? That's totally fair. No, because then you're just going to be sad because you're going to question why you would ever throw that ball. Nah, just get a purple. I would honestly recommend waiting right now. Wait a little bit, but also, is anyone having success with the NU 2.0? It's a ball that isn't great for, again, a lot of 95% of situations bowlers run into. Like, you're going to see it on tour a little bit. You're going to see it in some tournament play. You're not really going to see it in house shots much because it's kind of that typical thing that we've talked about a lot on the channel is reactive balls are best on house shots. And if you need something smooth for a house shot, there are options for that are going to be better than the not urethane options. What I always recommend for somebody, the guys who like the NU stuff best on house shots and just in general, are the guys that love urethane, but can't throw urethane and shouldn't throw urethane on these lower oil volume or lower volume patterns. That's really where the NUs are truly shining, is if you want a urethane reaction, but you still want to carry out your corner pins in those house shot leagues. So it's, yeah, I don't know. The NU stuff, I love it. I love that it's there. Like, the concept is sick. The NU 2.0 is actually okay in a lot of situations. They just are too niche. It's how urethane was before the Purple Hammer, even before like 2019, is they're too niche. Urethane has become so normalized now that so many people have it. But I'm still going to have the hot take that most people in bowling don't ever need to touch a urethane ball. I would say 97% of bowlers, there's about 1 million bowlers out there in leagues. I would say less than 10,000 really need a urethane bowling ball. Maybe even less than 15 truly could use a urethane. It's not 97%, a little bit of an exaggeration, but I think that's an important one. No plans to get into urethane anytime soon, but using my IQ 78 as a spare ball, that's the best use for that ball. That is the best use for that lovely ball. I've thrown the NU 2.0 on a couple of sport shots and it rolled well from Andy. And that's where it can be good. If you don't, it's going to do what a urethane does, but a little bit later and a little bit quicker. Hey, Joe, thank you for the 2 jewels. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's where that ball is going to be better, is sport shots. And most people don't really bowl on sport shots in bowling. It is really a smaller group of people that do. Zach with the hot takes. The problem is that one's not a hot take in the competitive bowling community. But if you're trying to, I don't know. Like, if you would go to Beef and Barnsey and you would ask, do I need a urethane? They'll be fairly similar in what they say. If you go to like a lot of professional bowlers and you ask them, do I need a urethane? That's what they're going to say. And I think there's a bit of a gap between like some of that, like I'll be honest, some pro shops that are saying you need to get a urethane versus shops are like, well, this is the actual uses for it. Because a lot of guys, the problem is we see it on TV and we're like, oh, that's the best option. I need a urethane ball now. But you're never bowling on the patterns they are. All right, let's keep going. We're going to get canceled real quick. Head game fire. Okay. Any tips on how to recover from tendonitis in the wrist from bowling? Wrist tape, and then it's something in your game. Something in your physical game is causing it. Maybe your wrist is like too bent or something. There's too much pressure on it. So yeah, I would say having some tape on it, having some tape around your wrist, and then maybe some rest or figuring out what's causing it is good. Let's see. Alec, what medium smooth ball would be a good bridge between the Evoke Hysteria and the Venom Shock? That's where like a Rockstar, that's where like a Bionic, a Stealth Mode Hybrid, things like that are going to fit. Barracuda, wishing your future wife tons of health and happiness. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Viking, definitely need to see a doc. Yeah. Sweet baby. Failed miserably at the 2025 BAT. ZMS started well, but the Spartan was much better. Vengeance was poo. Shiny Axiom is counted. Love that. Stone 9 reviews. Are you going to bowl the Memorial Day Classic? I am not. I'm getting married in 3 days, so I am very much not going to Michigan. No, I will. You will not see me at that tournament, unfortunately, anytime soon. But I'll be skipping that one. And then next weekend, I'll be at the Ozarks with Luke Rosdahl and his crew. So you'll see some content coming out for that soon. Malcolm, what is your favorite 2-ball in line? What's your favorite 2-ball in line and why? I don't know. What do you mean by that? 2-ball in line. Let me know what you mean by that, man. RJ, question for my daughter for upcoming NCAA season. Will the Hysteria and Bionic overlap? Not really. They're a little close for a college lineup, especially when you only have 5 bowling balls. So I wouldn't recommend having both in the same arsenal, but I think having both as options is okay. But yeah, I don't think if you can only bring 5 bowling balls, I don't think both in the same bag is a good idea. Emerald, new to league, previously did open play. Hey, that's awesome, man. Congrats. Welcome to league play. Hope it goes well for you. Hope it goes well. Larry Tripp, what are your thoughts on the Stealth Mode Hybrid? Don't see it very much. Not like the Bionic. Yeah, it's not like the Bionic, but it's a good ball. But again, it's a track ball, so it doesn't get much love. It's great. It's an awesome piece. It's a stronger, shiny ball. Brunswick doesn't have many of those right now. The stealth mode hybrid is kind of in its own realm compared to all of the other shiny balls they have. A lot of their shiny balls are like medium to weaker. Then the stealth mode is way up here. So it is in a very unique spot in the Brunswick lineup. And I think it's good, especially if you like the stealth series. But it's just not getting much love. I'm excited when that ball goes on sale because I'll be snagging it. Absolutely. Samantha Suzuki, what's going on? I stay behind my ball all the way until my downswing. I've done my drills, but it doesn't help. So you're probably pulling is the problem. So if you're behind the ball right here, and then your hand gets on the side of it more, so you're getting here and you're pulling down with your shoulder, your arm. So I would try, honestly, being lazier when you're throwing. That's going to help quite a bit. Trying to be a lot slower and just not trying to muscle it as much. Muscle is what causes your hand to get on the side of it a lot. Coach Ricochet. I like my old purple tanks, average 200 with them. Nice. Braden, that ball was not well liked, by the way, by almost anybody else. Oh, the purple tank was hated. It shined up so quickly. It got so shiny so fast, and then it was useless for the situations it's supposed to be good for. Yeah. I do have to remember every time I say urethane isn't good on house shots, I'll have about 5 to 10 people say that it works really well for them on house shots. I got to remember that. Alex, what do you think about the Radical Revenge Solid? It's fine. I haven't seen a reason to get that over a Danger Zone yet, and I haven't really seen a comparison between the Danger Zones and the Revenge either. But it's everything I've seen for it. It's fine. It's a weaker ball, a little bit smoother. It kind of fits in the Dark Side Curse realm in a lot of ways. It just isn't getting much love. The Danger Zone was just so much more beloved that it kind of fits better. And is the Revenge more expensive, or did they make it the same price? I don't remember. Did they make that thing 120? Yes, they did make it 120. Good. That's perfect. Awesome. I was a little worried for a second. I was worried they didn't make it that. For the record, you convinced me to get the Spartan when it gets discontinued in 2 months. Hey, I am going to be grabbing 3 of them as well when that happens. I will be grabbing a lot of Spartans as well the minute that it does, which will probably happen. Let's see. As someone who is a tournament bowler, you absolutely need it. You can't produce that reaction from Malcolm. Yeah, if you're a tournament bowler, but most guys in the bowling game aren't tournament bowlers. Justin, should a low track, higher tilt bowler avoid higher RG balls, or can we not, or we can, but need to add surface? So surface is generally the number one thing that causes a ball's reaction. So you can manipulate a ball quite a bit with surface. So if you're low track, higher tilt, you're going to like the lower RG stuff. But if you have higher RG stuff, it'll be better for the burn, or it's going to be better, with some surface on, you'll be A-okay. Have you tried any of the overseas Black Widows from Alejandro? I have not. No, Black Widows don't roll well for me. It's one of those balls that just doesn't really fit. It doesn't really fit my game. Every time I try it, I've tried 3 of them, I think, maybe 4. I had a Black Widow. I had a 2.0, a 3.0, the Tour V1. I had a 4th one, older one, and it didn't roll well. I might only be at 3, but all of them haven't rolled great for me. So I would never have really a reason to go snag an overseas one. So no, I have not. Deal with it. Best balls for dry lanes. You're going to really like a lot of the weaker, shinier stuff. Go check out some of my Arsenal guides. I have a lot of weak and shiny. Check out the weak and sharp category. Those are going to be best. Those are going to be best. Emerald, usually I do 1 open bowling. I brought the 3.0 Shock and High Road 40. Best look on game 3 was a High Road 40, or others were a bit hard to control. That means you probably like weaker bowling balls, is what that says. If you brought a 3.0 in Shock and they were too uncontrollable, you're probably going to like weaker balls just with your style and whatever you're bowling on. Broseph, do you think investing in a spare ball is worth it, or do you think becoming more versatile? No, buy a spare ball. I am 100% a massive advocate. Just get a spare ball. Flattening your wrist, I am never a fan, especially for a bowler who's trying to improve yet. Trying to change your physical game to pick up spares makes you more inconsistent. Having a spare ball gives you those guarantees with where you're standing, with how you're throwing, with what your form's going to be. I think it just makes spares easier. So I am a massive advocate for just get a spare ball, because spares are so important in every level of the game from little on. Every spare you miss is 11 pins generally. around 11, sometimes a few less, sometimes a few more. But it's always about 11 pins that you're missing on each missed spare. So you might as well have a ball that you can have a higher spare percentage with. If you can get a spare ball and your spare percentage goes up by 5%, that's going to boost your average by a good amount. So I'm always team buy a spare ball. It's so hard to change your physical game, especially for guys with less than like a 220 to 230 average. It's just so difficult to be able to manipulate your game and try to throw flat. And if you do think you have a really good spare percentage by throwing flat-handed, that's awesome. But you might have a higher spare percentage with a plastic ball. Or I should say spare ball. Louis, thinking of polishing my Tour X. Seems like any friction, it jumps. That'll cause it just to hook further down lane. It'll cause it to be sharper. So when you polish a ball, what you're going to get out of it is the ball is going to hook later, but it's also going to be sharper. So that ball is still going to be sharper than what it is now. So be ready for that. Balrog, you think if I put Power Edge on an Effect Tour, it's going to be like an Ion Pro Solid? No, it'll be a bit stronger yet. It'll be a bit stronger. Spare ball, good. Walter Ray is the best spare shooter ever, and he uses a plastic. Enough said. Yeah, and also no one in this chat throws it as good as Walter Ray Williams is also the big part. He is more consistent than all of us put together as humans. He is a freak of nature. So Walter Ray could probably throw a regular ball at it, but yeah, he advocated towards that. The one that always hits me is people say, well, Norm Duke doesn't use a spare ball, but he's also one of the greatest bowlers to ever walk the face of the earth. And we don't really fit that realm. I don't think any of us here do. If Norm's watching, show yourself. Insert name. Nah, he's on a golf course somewhere. Who am I kidding? Insert name. Been using a Summit Ascent to get consistent. Ready to upgrade. What should I buy and drill first? A Bionic is a good choice right now. That's going to be a little stronger and a lot quicker. So that might not be too bad. Hey, you haven't seen me throw it in a while. That's fair, but you're not Norm Duke. Robert Sawyer, I just won a raffle and I chose a Max Effect to go with your Black Widow Hybrid. XL and Rockstar and Hustle Glow and Phase 2 Pearl. I get to choose any storm ball I want next week. More house shot leagues, 4 to 6 turns. You have a good amount of bowling balls already, which is awesome. So Max Effect and Hybrid kind of take your strong, and XL take your strong categories. Rockstar and Phase 2 Pearl take your medium. If you use your Hustle Glow quite a bit, I'd recommend like a Monsoon. If you think that ball is getting thrown quite a bit, go with a Monsoon. And Daniel, happy Wednesday. Thanks. Same to you too. Malcolm, what's your favorite strong and sharp ball on any of the lines? Right now, what is my favorite? Full Effect is really good. Evoke Hysteria is still goated. I like the Viking a lot. It's not the most popular ball in the world, but I like it a lot. Zoom, thank you for the follow on TikTok, man. I would say Full Effect is the best on the market right now. Evoke Hysteria is still really good too, though. That's a tough question. Justin, do you think there are good odds that an Alert Pearl will be released? I would bet every dollar to my name that an Alert Pearl will come at some point in the future. I don't know when. It might be, I would say it's going to be closer to the start of league season, like August or September we'll get one. But yeah, I guarantee an Alert Pearl will be on the way sooner rather than later. Louis, congrats and have fun with the wedding. Thank you so much. Let's see. Deal with it. Weak shiny, Tour AI or a Hustle. I would go Hustle personally. If you want that true weak bowling ball. But IQ AI is still a great piece. Basic MK7, high rev rate, two-handed lefty, Ion Max Pearl, good spot, good ball for sport shot leagues. It's going to be a little quick, so be ready for that, especially because you're going to be bowling in the fresh so much as a lefty. So I think a smoother bowling ball might be better, like a Rockstar or Phase 2, but Ion Max Pearl could have a good use if you want to play a little deeper all the time. Jake, for a house shot, should I go Bionic or Brunswick Alert? If you're rev dominant, go with an Alert. Otherwise, go with a Bionic. Hook, what's going on? You have a Phase 2 Pearl, a Black Dragon Pearl, and a Surge. I think something a little medium and slower will be good. A Brunswick Alert fits there. Venom Shock fits there. Monsoon could fit as well if you want a weaker bowling ball. I think some of those might be a little better. Let's see. Let us keep on trucking. We're at 7:15. If you haven't, make sure to go hit the follow or subscribe button. Best way to help support the channel. Otherwise, make sure to hit the like button. It's the best way to help support. It helps get the stream to more bowlers just like you guys. We are just talking about everything and anything bowling right now. If you guys have questions, if you guys have things to talk about, topics you want to hit on, it's been a little bit of a quieter week. We had the USBC Queens complete. Aaron McCarthy absolutely drove over everybody in the bracket and in the finals, so that was awesome to see. Huge shout out to Aaron, who just made a big jump going from motive to 900 global. Won with the Rocket AI, by the way. That's, I think, the first title with the Rocket AI. Potentially. I don't know. I don't remember it being used on the PBA in any of the finals. I think Chris Vi threw it for a minute, but he didn't win. So big shout out to Erin McCarthy. She is an awesome human being, amazing person, traveling nurse by day and then a bowler by night, and absolutely incredible human being and incredible bowler. So awesome to see her win. And also, I want to read some scores that she had, by the way. Her run, she qualified as the 1 seed, right? She won by 50 to Carrie Smith, 720 to 670. Then she beat Peyton Fike by 70, 700 to 629. Then she beat Jillian Martin by almost 100, 678 to 592. Then she beat Caitlin Johnson by almost 100, 762 to 678. And then she beat Emily Eckhoff by 60, 729 to 662. And then she absolutely pile drove Natasha Roslin, 735 to 610. Insane scores from Erin, like absolutely crushed. Although Natasha did shoot 817 in the match prior, won by 200 pins, which is, I think, the biggest record we're seeing. She was the number 2 seed, and she won by a lot in most of her matches as well. By 70, by 40, by 180, yeesh, by 50, by 200, and then lost to Aaron. So, yeah, there were some very high scores this weekend, or this week at the USBC Queens. But yeah, awesome to see Aaron run over everybody. That was cool to see. But let's see what we got. Insert name. You have a problem getting your ball too close to your ankle. Always laying the ball down 10 boards away from my ankle, two-handed. Oh, you're laying it down too far away. So one good thing to do, like you're a two-hander, or not going to be, you are a two-hander. So the big thing to think about is like, think about the backside of your fingers, like your middle and ring fingernails. Try to brush those. Like if you're wearing a pair of jeans or sweatpants, pretend like you're trying to brush that part of your hand on your ankle, on your jeans. That's going to help you kind of figure out how close you have to be. So try doing that a little bit. It's going to feel weird, but that'll be a good way to do it. Aaron has a sneaky high rev rate. Aaron, yeah, Aaron can hook it. Natasha has back-to-back 300s. Yeah, absolutely. Like, nice 3-game set. I'll give you another big game to catch up. Yeah, no, it was awesome to see. It was super cool to see. Thoughts on the new CBA rules? So, for any non-Minnesota people out there, CBA is the largest scratch bowling series in the state of Minnesota. They just put in some rules where they're banning all urethane next year. So, starting in January, they banned everything but the 78 hardness urethane. So all the soft urethanes were out. And then they were doing a bunch of in-the-field testing, and they saw numbers being so low, like some of the hardness records being so low, that they said, we're done. We're banning all urethanes going forward. So no more urethane, which is going to be very interesting. I think it's a cool idea. Absolutely. I don't have anything pro or con against it. I love seeing tournaments do different things. And I think it's going to be really cool seeing the CBAs, seeing these scratch tournaments, the best bowlers in the Midwest, in the upper Midwest and in Minnesota, trying to combat patterns without that urethane ball. It's going to be very interesting. That was my favorite thing of watching the Masters in the US Open this year was, what are the players going to do when they get that shorter pattern? We've been conditioned for almost 10 years that short pattern, throw urethane. Medium pattern, start with urethane. So not having that is going to be very, very interesting. I think my concept is going to get a lot of playtime on those patterns, is my guess. That's going to be my assumption going forward. Spartan slingers. Man, I love that. I have a video coming out on Tuesday or Friday night. It has a couple of my USBC Nationals clips, and it's with the Spartan, and it looks so good. That ball is so good. Grandmaster, many don't say the Fatal Venom was not good for dry lanes. It's been just a wonder for me. Refuses to jump off friction. That's why people hated it. Is a weaker Pearl Ball you generally expect to be a little sharper on friction, but that Fatal Venom was not. So that is why a lot of people didn't like it. But I'm glad you like it for that reason. That's awesome. That's good. Let's see. Nolan over on TikTok. Are you going to be at this year's Junior Gold? Yes, I am going to be at Junior Gold a lot this year. Once we get closer to Junior Gold, I'll have more information of where I'll be and what stands I'll be at and all of that. But for the main day where all the booths are set up, you're going to see me over in the bowling.com booth and the RecruitUS booth a ton. And the bowling.com booth is going to have a ball giveaway. So be ready for that. Maybe we'll have some ZVL giveaways in there as well. Who knows? I got to talk with those guys a little bit. I have a lot of meetings coming up where I'll be talking with some groups to see what's all going on for Junior Gold. But I'll be at Junior Gold quite a bit. Why is urethane the cheat code? Great question. So urethane is really good because it gives you the smoothness that you need from a bowling ball to be able to hit the pocket a lot. The harder a oil pattern gets, the harder it is to give you pocket control. And when you're on these harder patterns, pocket control is a necessity because you have less room for error. On a house shot, you can maybe miss your spot by 5 boards and still strike and hit the pocket. But on a sport shot, you really can't do that much. If you miss by 5 boards, you might miss the head pin completely. So what urethane did is it gave you more room for error. So if you were throwing a reactive ball, maybe you only have 2 boards at your break point to miss to be able to still hit the pocket. Well, urethane, that doubles and gives you like 4 or 5 boards of miss room if you're playing them the right way and you have enough surface on it. So that's why urethane was so good. And the negative of urethane was always that you would leave more corner pins, 10 pins and 7 pins. But as rev rates have increased more and more, those off hits, those 7 pins and 10 pins are falling a lot more. So the high rev rates out there are able to carry a lot better with urethane than guys 10 years ago were able to. And the resurgence of urethane brought softer urethane, so they do hook more and are more continuous and all this other stuff. So long story short, it just gives you more miss room. And if you have a higher rev rate, your off hits are still falling. So that's why urethane's been so good. Let's see. Favorite pro bowler from Guardian? I don't really have one at all. I don't really have one. I'm not a guy who like picks a favorite guy and just follows them. Yeah, so I don't really have one. Apologies for that. I'm not a good watcher of sports. I'm more of a play the sport, not really watch it as much. Hook, thank you for the Go Populars on TikTok. Appreciate it. And Nolan, you did qualify this year. Hey, congratulations. That is awesome. CR, can plastic balls be polished? Yes, it absolutely can. Yeah, they usually come polished, but you have to polish them every once in a while to keep them shiny so they're not hooking. But what if they're Norm Duke's burner account? I've met Norm. I don't think Norm can run a burner account. I would if I don't think that's in his repertoire of tools. Was someone actually calling him David Duke? That's awesome. Insert name. Been trying one-handed, working on the yo-yo. Only way I've been able to stay cupped is bending my elbow almost 60 degrees. Should I continue? No, you do not want your elbow bent that far. That is way too much. You're going to cause some elbow injuries. So the yo-yo release should only be when it gets near the downswing. So you want to be able to keep that wrist straight the whole time. Like you don't want that wrist being here as the ball is going into your upswing, into your backswing, and into your downswing. You just need it more like straight. And then once you get to the bottom of the swing is when you try to get that hand underneath it. But yeah, if there's any elbow bend, it's not a good thing. That'll cause injuries in the future. Let's see. Captain Ludwig, can you help convince my parents to get a bowling ball spinner to put service and restore my bowling balls? 2 at home, and it's cheaper than going to the pro shop. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the best way is going to be doing some math on it, is check how much it costs to get a ball resurfaced at your pro shop, and then divide that by how much a ball spinner is. So if a ball spinner is $200 and it costs $20 to get a bowling ball resurfaced, we'll do the math. Well, after I resurface it 10 times, I've actually paid for the ball spinner. And I'm going to resurface a ball way more than 10 times. So that can be a good way to do it. Robert, congrats on the wedding. Buy all your bowling balls now. Hey, with pleasure, gladly. I got to jump back in the market for some bowling balls. I haven't actually bowled since Nationals. It's been, I think, 2 weeks now, which is kind of crazy. I haven't touched a bowling ball. So I'm going to be coming back to it next Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, I'm going to be coming back to it next Monday or Tuesday, which should be entertaining. It's a good question from Robert. Touchy subject, I know, but urethane almost sounds like an advantage for two-handers, minus the single pin leads. Yes, and that is why you're seeing so many two-handers do so well on the PBA Tour. So in the past, before the Purple Hammer resurgence, when you had a short pattern, the guys with lower rev rates would generally do really well. Norm Duke was able to crush the tour for so long with a lower rev rate. And those shorter patterns, he was able to control his rev rate in his hand a lot. That isn't really a thing you need to do as much anymore. So the PBA Tour, what you see a lot of is a lot of people getting higher and higher and higher and higher rev rates, because you can put a lot of revs on a urethane ball and it doesn't overhook very easily. And it's going to be able to combat those heavier volume, flatter patterns. So yes, two-handers do have more of an advantage with urethane than a 200 rev rate one-hander does. So that's where urethane isn't the most usable for a lot of guys out there. But if you're a two-hander, if you have a high rev rate, that's where urethane is really good. And those are the guys that throw it a ton because the ball doesn't overreact. Usually in the past, if you had a high rev rate, the ball would overreact on you quite a bit because reactive balls overreact. That doesn't happen as much with urethane. Let's see. BDG, I'm with you on urethane. I have a purple, but looks like poop when I use it on the house or sports shot a few times I've tried. So it's a practice spare ball. Yeah. And that's a big thing too, is I know I had that issue when I first got my purple hammer, is it kind of sucked because I didn't have a high rev rate at all. I had a super high speed. Rev rate was a little on the lower side. It looked terrible for me. But if I had a lot higher of a rev rate, like I've seen some magical things happen to guys with rev rates like throwing purples. Just this past weekend, I put out for my ZVL tournament 44 feet on both lanes, 44-foot USBC Masters pattern, like 33 or 4 mils. And a lot of the two-handers were easily able to throw purple hammers and absolutely crush the fresh. So a lot of the two-handers and a lot of the high rev rates had a big advantage going into the first couple games because they were able to control that really, really heavy and long pattern with urethane compared to a reactive ball. So that was one of the positives I saw. So it's been, yeah, it's very interesting. The urethane stuff is very interesting. I'm excited in like 10 years looking back on it, seeing how it all was. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, Malcolm. Urethane allows guys who get after it to really get after it. Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good point. Absolutely. Are there still ashtrays built into scoring, Steve? There are not. BDGF, thank you for the 200 joules, man. Appreciate it. I have no idea how much 200 joules are, or how much 2 joules are, or 10 joules, or 100 joules, but thank you so much. I don't know YouTube gifts at all. Let's see. Blake Child, quick question. The infinite physics from Storm's lineup. That is a strong and sharp ball. Strong and sharp ball. Todd Gibson, hyperdrive, Viking, level, bionic. Any changes to a 14-year-old girl's bag for junior gold? Hyperdrive, Viking, level, I like it. Todd, I like that arsenal quite a bit. I like that arsenal quite a bit. Malcolm, get them axes and plastics out. I don't think we'll have it. The rev rates aren't crazy high here in Minnesota. And I feel like concepts are going to reign supreme. I think concepts are going to run around everywhere. I gave Fiddle Venom to a girl in exchange for a number. She didn't text me back. Oh, God. Oh, yeah. Most people hate that ball. Most people hate that ball. All right. Let me catch up over on TikTok quick. Looking for a ball spinner for 200 or used. Any thought? Joey, if you can get it for 200, I think that's a good deal. Really, ball spinners you can make on your own too if you're a little more mechanically inclined. It is just an engine with a spinning belt on it is all it is. Benjamin, is the pitch black a good second ball? If you're only bowling on house shots, no, I don't think it's a good second ball. Jeff comes back to the same thing I've said. Two-handed bowling is causing changes to the game. Yes, it 100% is. And, there's a lot of guys who think it's bad, the changes it's causing. But no, two-handed did change the game a lot because rev rates skyrocketed with two-handed becoming more common. I mean, we had 20 years from when reactives came out to when the rev rates were high in a lot of ways, but they were lower, like 400. Like Tommy Jones was one of the highest rev rates on tour in 2015. You go up 5 years, and he's middle to lower of the pack at a 450 rev rate, which is crazy. Is the axe hammer a good starter ball? I've been putting a hook on the ball for 2 months. I would honestly recommend a raw hammer instead. A hammer raw would be a little better. And I use a house urethane ball. Yeah, I would recommend a raw hammer to start. And Steven, thank you so much for the 1 heart me. Appreciate it. Yeah, and I know, apologies for everyone who doesn't like the urethane talk. I'm guessing we saw a nice decline in viewership because of that. Yeah, we did see a lot of people slowly leave with the urethane talk. It happens, but it's something good to talk about every once in a while because it's a big part of our sport. And I don't like bringing up urethane because a lot of people, it's one of those polarizing topics, just like string pins, just like two-handed and one-handed, just like a lot of stuff in bowling. It's very polarizing. So it caused a lot of people to click away, which is unfortunate. So apologies to anybody who watches this later if you did end up clicking away because we talked about urethane. And it's tough. There's a reason a lot of guys don't bring up urethane at all. Like, you notice not many people try to do it. Just because that's the game. But it is a very important part of our game. It's a very important part of our game. All right, let's keep going. Mike, my revenge solid hooks early. Would hitting it with a 3K pad and polishing it help? Yes, it would. Yep. Reagan, I was the one who asked about the multi-track arsenal. Is it best to opt out of the... Yes, I would opt out of the Synthesis or the Paragon Shadow. I think one of those two should go. Is it really that deep? Or if you're talking about the urethane stuff, yes. Yes, it is. Because it is the most used ball on the PBA Tour. Bring a tournament to Faribault? Potentially. MG Funk, best Android app to figure out rev rate. 10-pin toolkit has a way to do it. I would offer Lane Tracks. I think that's the best one. But they don't have an Android version, just an iPhone version. Does the Crux live up to the hype? From Steven. So far, so good. So far, reactions are very high and positive. A lot of the PBA guys are liking it. The best comparison I've heard, this was from Chris Barnes, was it's kind of like a 900 Global Reality in a lot of ways. And the Reality was probably the most popular ASIM ball that the Storm lineups have put out in a long time. I actually have a Reality still behind me. That I hope is not cracked. I should look to be sure. But no, it looks really good so far. It's still not released yet. So I like to hold off a little bit on like, is it a good ball or not until it's actually released to everybody, because a lot of reviews are going to be very positive about every ball that came out. So that will help. So we'll see. Right now it looks good though. Right now things look good. Let's see. Insert name with one-handed. How do you cup the ball? I've slowed down the downswing to let gravity pull it down, then can't cup the wrist due to the downforce. So the way to do it, the best people to watch are going to be like a Chris Prather or a BJ Moores, people like that. Because what could be happening is your downswing might be too steep. And if your downswing goes there to there instead of, rounded, that's going to make it a lot harder to get your hand more underneath the ball. Trying not to get your hand underneath it, but getting it more just behind the ball is going to be a good step 1. That'll make it easier. So I would recommend first, just working on getting your hand behind the ball is going to be a little better. And RJ, thank you for the $10 super chat, man. Thank you. Congrats on the wedding. Appreciate it. Going to a tournament in August. I want to take a 6-ball Arsenal. What are your thoughts? Zero Mercy Solid, Zero Mercy Pearl, Bionic Monsoon Concept. I like it a lot. I think that looks really good. Yeah, I think it's pretty decent. I would keep the Bionic at like 4,000 grit. I think at 4,000 grit is going to make it a lot easier. So I like that a lot. I think that'll be good. Has Jesper ever thrown a reactive ball on tour? Yes, he has. He threw the old Crux Prime a while ago, but he likes the really slow reactive stuff. And he's also thrown the Concept a decent amount. So those are the main ones that he's thrown. Alex James, what do you think about the cheap plastic trophies at the World Series? A bit disappointing. I didn't see that they were cheap. They looked pretty legit that I saw, but I guess I haven't seen any behind the scenes stuff of anybody complaining about it or anything. Not yet, at least. Kyle, why do people hate urethane? Generally, the main idea is that people hate it because it makes a lot of patterns a lot easier for a lot of guys. So you're going to see very flat patterns that urethane makes it look a lot easier. And it feels a little too easy, and it gets rid of some of the tricks that you needed in the past. is why you see a lot of people not like it. We got that one going. Malcolm, urethane is an item that isn't created equal across brands and across bowlers. Entire population can't get it to hit or doesn't work for them that are rev challenge, whereas big rev equals party time. Yeah, and a lot of it is like, it really favors one type of bowler in a lot of ways compared to others. So it's a very love-hate discussion. How do you feel about the NU stuff coming out? I think it's a genius idea. I love the not urethane stuff. I love that we're trying now to make bowling balls that are like urethane but not urethane. I think the NU 2.0 is a good ball. I think the concept is awesome. The new blue was a good starting spot for it. It wasn't a great ball for what it was supposed to do, but the new 2.0 really capitalizes on where the new blue was. So I think it's been really good. I think that's a good direction for us to go. The companies, I think, are preparing just in case urethane does get banned. Now that USBC has talked about it and put in some restrictions in places, you might see more things coming soon. Oh, I forgot to mention, the other reason urethane is very disliked is urethane gets weaker as you throw it more, or it gets softer as you throw it more, so it actually gets below the legal limit. But the way the rules are set up is that a ball only needs to be at that legal limit before it's drilled and thrown. So that's one of the big issues with it as well. It's an equity problem, which is the thing no one really wants to talk about. And like for me, like the reason guys in my shoes don't is because it affects our bottom line. Like when I talk about urethane, I guarantee after this, I'm gonna have people that unfollow me. And unfollows mean I don't make as much money. And so it actually affects my income the more you talk about those controversial topics. So a lot of people stay away from the controversy because what it does is it turns into a lot of unfollows, it turns into anger, it turns into upsetness. So that's why it gets strayed away from by a lot more people. Andrew, storm monsoon or a danger zone solid for a daily driver? So the monsoon is going to be smoother. It's going to be a heck of a lot smoother down lane compared to the danger zone. Danger zone is going to be a little quicker. So if you want something that can play, if you want it to be sharper down lane, that's where a danger zone is a good play. But if you want something slower, a monsoon is it. B-Chuas, are you allowed to hit a ball with surface during league? No, you cannot hit it during league. It has to be either before or after. It has to be before or after. Yeah, I don't think talking about the bad in bowling grows bowling. Yeah, there's plenty of people who like talking about the bad in bowling, and they've made careers off of it. There's one specifically on YouTube who you can tell when rent is due because he makes a video that's about something controversial, saying like Bolero sucks or USBC sucks or urethanes aren't actually bad or Jason Belmonte is washed or yeah, that's usually that there's plenty of people who actually go hard on that. There's plenty of people who actually go hard on the negativity of bowling. And my kind of overall goal is I want to grow bowling. That's why I'm here. My best case scenario for me when I'm said and done is if bowling is bigger than where I was when I first got here, I count that as a win. So that's really my main goal. So that's where like staying on the topic of urethane and giving my one opinion, and this is what I feel, doesn't really benefit anybody. It actually angers people and causes people to get away from bowling. So I like to focus on the more positive and like ways we can improve the sport. But because I can't do anything about the urethane talks. It's so far gone in a lot of ways that like that's way above my pay grade. So I might as well try to work on the other things. That's kind of where I'm at. Alchemy. I've grown my arsenal to have at least one ball in every category. Nice. Which ball should I look at first? You're a two-hander. You don't have any of the weak categories. I would go weak and sharp. Try a Typhoon. Try a Bubblegum Vibe. Revenge Pearl if you want. Try any of those balls. Would be a good next one. Let's see. Mike, next week put urethane free stream. Bad news is news. Good news ain't news. You are so right, Dr. Wisdom. If I look back at my videos, all of my urethane videos will pop off to 20,000 plus views every single time it gets brought up. But I bring up good news like the bowling TV channel from Triple B Media that has ZVL footage on it. I didn't get to 5,000 views yet. It's been like 2 weeks. And that is, I think, the coolest news to come to, or Born to Bowl. Born to Bowl being a massive hit. That video did terrible for me, but it's the best news we've had in bowling in a long time. Like bowling is a top 10 watched show on HBO. That sentence is insane. 5 years ago, that sentence, we would have said, that's BS. That's not happening. That's a crazy good thing for the sport. Like, you're seeing that growth increase. You might not see leagues increase. Sounds like leagues are pretty stagnant right now. This year they have been. But I think we're seeing open play increase more and more and more, which is an awesome thing. That's where it starts. Getting people to first jump into bowling, jump into these streams, jump into those videos and say, hey, I'm new to bowling. What should be my first ball? That is the perfect place to be. Then we can slowly build off of that to try to make bowling really big. So I think we're going in the right direction. And there's a couple guys out there who are actively trying to fight it to try to make a quick buck and then run away with their money. And I will do what I can to be against those guys. I will do what I can to try to fight off those the ones who just kind of want the payday to run. There's a lot of that out there, unfortunately. Chris Howe, are you allowed to bring Purple Hammer to Nationals? You are allowed to bring the 78 hardness urethane, not the original Purple Hammer. Hook, of the bowling balls on sale or discontinued, what top 3 would you suggest? Speed dominant one-handed. On sale or discontinued. Ooh, Theorem Solid is good. Heckler, if you can still find an original Heckler, was good for that. What else was out there? Street Rally was really good. I think those would be 3 of the better ones that are discontinued or gone. Let's see. Yeah, I agree. Michael, I just ordered a Zero Mercy. Looking forward to it, but I actually sent it to my grandma's house. Oopsie. So that's another $100 at least in gas. Oh, that sucks. That's unfortunate. Steve, gambling, smoking, no. I mean, whatever floats your weird fantasies, Steve, but no, that's not bowling. That's unfortunately the bowling that got pushed pretty hard from like Big Lebowski and things like that. That's not the sport. That is not it. RJ, thanks for the advice. I'll definitely see how the Bionic is at 4,000. What do you recommend on the concept? I always like 1,000 grit on the concept. That's my personal favorite. 180 average. I was wondering if I should switch to 16 pounds. I like my 16 3D attack, but it's messing me up because I have mostly 15. I am not a big fan of 16-pound equipment. It's harder to get usually. Like if you want to get it at a pro shop, it's usually a little tougher. There's less quantity. So I like 15, but if you're seeing success with your 16, absolutely you can try it out. It'll lower your speed a little bit, but if that's no problem for you, you're good to go. A retired bowling ball still relevant to use? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100% it is. Absolutely. Malik Smith, best big ball on the market. I think the Zero Mercy is. Ion Max is still really good as well, and so is the Jackal Onyx. I got to throw my Jackal Onyx more. Maybe that's something I'm going to bring next week. I don't know. We'll see. Hook. Oh, no, we hit you, Hook. Sorry, man. Ever try candlepin bowling? No, I've never tried candlepin. I have not. Steven, did we hit you? I don't have a weaker ball. I'm a storm guy. Would the monsoon fill that? Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Oh, there it is. KM. That's who I was looking for. KM, I know you didn't have a great first experience, but would you ever give the Tat another chance? Probably not, in all honesty. I get what it's doing, and I really appreciate it. And I love that it's one of the biggest tournaments in the world, if not the biggest. It's just not a format that competitively I see that I can be successful in. I am never the biggest fan of the kind of random tournaments like that, so I don't think I would. If I was out in Vegas at the same time, maybe I would do a squad. But it's just a lot of money to go and compete in multiple squads, and it's a very high risk tournament. So I don't think so. I don't think I'll be competing at a true amateur tournament again anytime soon. Again, I respect what they do. They get a really cool crowd. They get a different crowd than what I usually bowl with, of who I usually bowl with. Like they get some of the more bowlers who kind of focus on like more the handicap side of things. They get a lot of international guys, which is awesome. But for me personally, it's just, it's a very big money commitment where instead I would rather stay a little more local and try to win some scratch events or some high level handicap events instead of the travel and the $1,000 to enter the tournament and hotel and food, all to bowl, 8 games total to give myself a chance to hopefully make it. It was a good learning opportunity last year to see what it was, but just for competitive sake, I would rather go to something else. Azrael, thank you for the follow. And other person who I cannot read, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Duncan, I sat next to you at the Scorpion show. Hey, awesome. I wasn't at the Scorpion show. Yeah, I was at the Chameleon show. Yeah, I didn't go to Scorpion. Wood Bay just got into bowling and want to start league later this year. Are all league teams based, are all leagues team-based? Oh, there you go. Yes, most of them are team-based. It's going to be very hard. Yeah, on Sunday. There you go, Duncan. Yeah. No, we were at the Sunday show. Yes, then I did sit next to you. Yep. I was going to say, I didn't go to Scorpion. You're thinking of a different tall, lanky guy. But yes, most leagues are going to be team-based, but the best thing to do is talk to the league secretary, talk to the bowling alley, talk to the pro shop, and then you can get put on a sub list and you'll get picked up pretty quick. Like, for example, my league team this year, we picked up 4 new bowlers over the season, 5 new bowlers maybe. We had one break his leg. We had 2 of them switch jobs. We had one of them who had to work more, so he wasn't around. 2 of them who had to work more and weren't around. We had anyone else? I think we lost more. I think we had one just leave. I can't remember. But yeah, we had a lot of guys. So we had to pick up a lot of bowlers, and that happens all over the place. People get hurt. People have other commitments. People have kids. People get new jobs. People just get sick of bowling. A lot of stuff. Don, candlepin bowling on the PBA game is easier than candlepin in real life. Oh, great, because I suck at the PBA game one as well. Super. Alex, bowl throws 15 and 16. 16 helps me slow my ball down, but warnings there generally smoother reaction-wise. Yep. Absolutely. Michael, I just got 5th at a tournament. Nice. My newest ball came out in 2016. Pitbull Growl. Ooh, I hated the Pitbull series. I was not a fan of the Pitbulls. They were very slow. I was a fan of the Thug lineup from that time. The Growl, yeah, was definitely the last one. I think they had just the original Pitbull, which was, I believe, orange. And then the Growl, I think, was green. I got to check if I was right on that. How good is Zach's memory? The Growl, oh no, the Growl was the orange one, and the green one was the original. Shoot. All right, I can't remember things. Shoot, that's sad. B. Dean, is a discontinued anger solid worth picking up? Okay, here we go. We're going to do a last call for questions, by the way. We'll be dropping off in about 10 minutes. But anger solid, I think, is a really cool bowling ball. It's one of the most unique bowling balls on the market. It is the highest RG of any solid bowling ball, but it also has that higher differential. So if you want a solid ball that's going to get pretty far down lane and still be a little bit angular and be like a step down from a rock star or a step down from a game breaker or a step up from like a vibe or a hustle, that ball's really good in that spot. But it was not well liked, which was it wasn't not well liked. It just didn't get much love. I think the colorway didn't help, and the original anger didn't get much love because it's lower in the bag. So I think it's a good ball. I think it's a really good piece. It's very cheap right now. Now's the time to get it. But yeah, it's just very unique. Just very, very unique. Let us see what else we got. Remember, if you're just heading out, also make sure to drop a subscription or a follow or a like on the way out. It's the best way to help support the channel. Make sure to go check out some of our sponsors and partners who've been popping up over here. Another great way to help support. Thank you guys so much. I am now a full-time content creator. I have been for almost 2 months now. We're almost at the 2-month anniversary. So huge thank you to everybody who's supported me along the way. I really do appreciate it. But we'll hit these last couple of questions and go on our merry way. But Joe, where's the Avenger Doomsday trailer? I thought you stole content. Get on it already. Oh man, it still baffles me how many people said I stole content. That's wild. Keith, how do I get my timing with my feet and arm swing in sync? Very good question. Timing is one of the most difficult pieces in the bowling game to get right. So the best thing to do is watch some videos on timing because it gives you kind of step-by-step of where your arm swing should be. So if you have a 4-step approach, on your first step, you should be pushing away the ball. This is going to be a quick like 1, 2, 3, 4. Second step, your ball should be passing your leg up to the backswing. Your third step, the ball should be at the apex of the swing or the highest point of the swing and about to start coming down. On the fourth step, your ball should be on the way down close to your ankle. So if you can just work on one by one, try to find where in the swing your timing is getting off. That's a very important thing. I think that's going to really help you out. So try to figure out where exactly that happens. And Dave, love watching all your content. You're awesome. Thank you so much, Dave. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Bichuas, my house shot is 43 feet, 12-to-1 ratio. Would that be considered longer? No, it is pretty much middle of the road for a house shot. So it's not really longer in any way. Michael, the Pitbull Growl had a very similar colorway, yep, to the Zero Mercy. Yeah, it was the original Pitbull that had the green colorway. Rob, I thought about a Brunswick Alert for my solid sim, but I don't know. There may be better options. The Alert is probably the best solid symmetrical ball on the market right now. I would say it's like a top 5 bowling ball, so I would recommend going with that. Wood Bay, bowling is growing, but leagues aren't because new bowlers want fun and progress without committing. Yeah, I am still a very big advocate that shorter leagues are better. I think the 36-week league season is slowly dying out because it's just so much. It's so much bowling. And being able to cut that in half or into a third is a lot better. Like my work league that I'm in, I think we bowl for 24 weeks. Is all it is. And it still gets to be long for a lot of the guys who don't care for bowling that much. Near the end of the season, people are like, all right, I'm ready to get out. It's harder for bowling centers because they have to have more leagues going on. Like if you have 3 12-week leagues versus one 36-week league, it's a lot harder, but it's definitely better. Yeah, 36 weeks is pretty much a part-time job. That's what it feels like. Once a week, you're spending 3 hours bowling. I can't be full-time for 36 weeks. I just physically cannot. It's just too much. It's just too much. And I don't know how somebody with kids would be able to do it. It's just so much bowling. Mott's likes his IQ Tour. Love that. Yeah, IQ Tour is goated. KM, more of a comment than a question, but if people aren't watching the PWBA, they're missing out. Oh, absolutely. 100%. I agree. Yeah, I wish we could do more advertising for the PWBA, and I tried a little bit. I put out a USBC Queens preview video. Nobody watched it. It got very low amount of views, which was kind of sad, but I think it would be, I think it would be good to get some more advertising because the USBC stuff or the PWBA stuff is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Don, have a great night, sir, and have a great weekend. Best wishes to the Mr. and Mrs. ZVL. Thank you so much, Don. I really appreciate it. Short circuit. How does the Bionic hold surface? So far, so good. I think it just shines pretty quickly. It lane shines fairly quickly. So usually you want it shiny, so not too big of a deal. But if you want it dull, it's not going to be the best for that. Wood Bay, thank you for all you do and have fun at the wedding. Thank you so much. Would bowl every day if I could swing it. And there's some people like that too, where if they could bowl every day, they would, which is awesome. But that's where if you have enough leagues that people can join, you're good to go. Brian Richard, if you had to pick the Deviate Wicked Collision or the Widow Dynasty, Widow Dynasty, hands down. The Collision line is good. The Dynasty line just fits more bowlers. Let's see. Demetrius, best shot for a house shot. Do you mean best ball for a house shot? Be curious. If you mean best ball, there's a lot of different options. Generally, the medium category is best. Brock, how do you grow on Instagram and TikTok as a bowler? You got to find that. That spot in social media that people haven't really hit that hard, or you just got to be better in whatever spot you are. For bowling, I see a lot of guys that try to grow by just posting clips of themselves, which is fine, but it doesn't actually grow you that much. You got to find what kind of content helps grow. Like for me, it was talking about bowling balls. That's what really helped get me started. And then now I can branch out a little bit more into different areas and I still can get a lot of views in those senses. But if you're newer, you got to find what's going to get views. One of the big ones I've seen lately is there's a guy who is doing, can I shoot 250 with every ball in my arsenal? And then he just bowls a game and he tries to shoot 250. That was an idea I was going to do a while ago, but I just didn't have the time to get to the bowling alley to film a lot of it. So that was an awesome idea, but you got to find that idea that's going to get people. Just posting a video of yourself bowling every day or every couple days, it isn't going to help you grow very much. There's too many people that do it. So you got to find a niche that's not hit very hard and then be really good at it and really consistent at it. When I was working a full-time job, I was posting every day on every platform minus YouTube once a day. And the consistency also helps a lot. So you got to be ready to post quite a bit. Social media is not an easy thing. It's not an easy area. Alex James, what's the deal with the Norm Duke Open being 3 weeks after the regular tour season? I think it's to give the guys a little bit of a break after the World Series, and also to kind of pair closer to when the World Championship show is. So the World Championship show is only in the middle of June because that's when they could get onto CBS, like official CBS, and that's going to get a lot of views. So I think they wanted the Norm Duke Open to kind of fit around that so you can get people more into bowling at that time again, and then do the World Championship show, which should be the major big event, and then end the season there. All right. Jess just got the Joker and Dark Knight. Ooh, that's a pricey choice, but that's awesome. I hope they roll well. Michael trying to sour apple with every ball. That would be an awesome idea. Can I 710 with every ball in my bag? That's actually a really cool idea. I like that. I'm gonna write that one down. That's a really cool idea. Oh, that'd be fun. Man, I kind of want to try that. That's such a cool idea. That's really cool. All right. Let's see. I think we're gonna call it on that, guys. We're at about 8 o'clock. So I got a little few things extra to do tonight before we get ready for the weekend of the wedding. So I want to thank all of you guys for hopping in today. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We have a lot more streams coming. We are gonna be live next Monday and next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, I haven't told him that, but I'm gonna try to get Luke Rosdahl on the stream to talk about the Ozarks, the Greater Ozarks tournament that we're going to be going to next weekend. So I'm going to hit him up sometime next week, see if I can get him on. Otherwise, we'll try to record a video or something just talking about it because I don't know much of what's going to be going on at that tournament. So I'd love to be able to pick his brain a little bit. What balls roll well, who's done well in the past, all that stuff. It can kind of help you guys figure out too, like if you're going to a tournament, what should you kind of look for, and hear a couple of guys bicker about it a bit. Maybe not bicker, but talk about it a little bit. But I do want to thank all of you guys. Make sure to follow or subscribe on your way out. Otherwise, huge thank you to all of our partners who've been popping up here. EFX, use code ZVL for 10% off. They have an awesome Memorial Day sale coming very soon. Make sure to stay tuned for that. So make sure to go check out EFX. I believe they have a percentage off of everything, but you can use code ZVL otherwise for a little bit off. Otherwise, RecruitUS, they're an awesome group. They just ran an awesome event in Cleveland, Ohio. They have another event coming right before Junior Gold, which you might be seeing me at. You might be seeing me there. Otherwise, who else we got? G Fuel, ZVL Bowling for 30% off. Turbo Products, incredible partner of the channel. Make sure to go check out Turbo. They have some awesome equipment. A lot of really cool accessories, thumb slugs, the switch grip system, finger inserts, all that jazz. DH Lab 3D, you can go check out some awesome ZVL Bowling chamois. A couple of new colorways coming soon, but we do have the teal and the pink still in stock. And then bowling.com being an awesome partner of the channel, one of our biggest partners. Make sure to go check out anything that bowling.com has. They have some great deals going on. The Monsoon was on sale again last week for $127, so might be on sale again this weekend. We're going to find out. But if you need anything online, any online products, make sure to check out bowling.com. Otherwise, that is going to be everything for today. TikTok, we're going to say goodbye to you first. TikTok, thank you so much for hopping in. Next time I see you, I'm going to be married, which is going to be wild. But thank you, TikTok. Really appreciate it. I will see you all on the next one. All righty. TikTok is gone. But everybody else, thank you guys so much. Congrats on the wedding. Thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate it. So I'll be seeing you guys next week. Next Monday, we are going to be back and better than ever. Tomorrow, we have a video about our Patreon services coming up. So we're gonna go through an actual coaching lesson that I gave, and we are going to talk about those, all of that stuff a little bit. On Sunday, we have a bowling shoe guide. So if you want to know more about bowling shoes, which one is going to be best for you, make sure to go check that out. Otherwise, a lot of fun stuff coming. Thank you guys all so much. Really appreciate all the love and support lately. And I will see you all on the next one.